peace building conversation, but still there are many conflicts, violence. Why? So I thought, yes, I respect those people working in conflict zones, and my JICA, NGOs, and whatever. I really respect that. But also, there is something wrong with this stuff. So we have to go deeper. I respect it, but also we have to go deeper. So the thing is, as I said, my background is peace studies, not like a philosophy of ethics. But still, since I met you guys, then I thought ethics, philosophy should be integrated in peace studies, even in generations, to be critical and compassionate. So that's what I want to talk about. Okay. So the say, as I say, so first my point is different. So yes, we have lots of poverties and conflict, Gaza, whatever, Ukraine. I have friends in Palestine, Israel. Okay, so these are social, political, economic problems, but we have to go deeper. That's the point. It's also human inner problem, internal problem. That is like a intellectual, psychological, spiritual crisis, or we can say more epistemological, ontological, ethical problems. So this research, I want to focus more on human inner dimensions, to contribute to expanding how we understand the current problem. So I say it's an age of predicament. It's stuck. So what is stuck? I want to show you. So when I say predicament, it's like a clash of the differing or opposing, social, economic, cultural, political values, ideologies. So people, even my field, history, many people from different backgrounds try to help people. It's great, but they just bring their own interests. They bring on their own ethical, ontological frameworks. Then they crush each other, even though they say they won't help people. Okay, so that's why the point is, so people want to help people without conflict by bringing in differing epistemological, ontological, ethical frameworks. They crush, which made it difficult for us to resolve the problem. Okay, that's the people. So even people like countries, international organizations, NGOs, NPOs, whatever, trying to understand the problems or what counts as a solution itself, within their own framework. Then we crush each other. As a crisis, this example, different narratives, different views, just crush each other. So they say they have the justice of peace, but still, they are looking in the peace, justice from totally different perspectives. Then try to observe that. Then the problem. So that's what I want, to try to critique. Okay? So the thing is, so people appear to come from understand same point, but it's illusion. But we say what they are seeing is a projection of their visions or construct interests and shape of confined epistemological, ontological, ethical frameworks, which confines the purview of how we understand or how we communicate with people. So then when different opposing values are just clashing each other, then we say it's a comma, the same cycle of the problem will exit. So I respect those people and different frameworks, but also we have to go deeper into that. That's what I want to share with you. Okay? So that's why when I say, so now I say like a piece, maybe, or composition, transformation, I say we need to say predicament resolution or predicament transformation. That is a critical reconfiguration. How values, norms, ideas are understood and adapted. So it's a critical reconfiguration. How we understand epistemologies, ontology, knowledge, ethics. There are many great works. I respect them. But we have to go deeper. That's what I'm telling you. So we have to engage critical appraisal of our fundamental knowing and our being and how we should relate with others. That's what it should be. So then that's why one methodology I want to propose a intercultural philosophy. Since I've been working with great guys and researchers and students, we are from different cultural, philosophical backgrounds. But still we try to communicate, try to understand each other. Why? Because we can learn from each other. Okay? So that's why when I say intercultural philosophy, it means a philosophical conviction that no single philosophy represents the philosophy of whole humanity. Okay, so that's what it means. So kind of promotion of intercultural philosophy, maybe it shows a epistemological modesty of each person approaches social problems. But there are many, we have many positions today and yesterday. So one approach, especially in the post-war era, about the ascendancy of the Western engagement in human inventions, or peace building, conflict resolution, even security. So these are based upon liberal values, realist values. Then we talk about that, even academia, even news talk about that. It's fine, but that is a very, very limited purview of how we think about peace, how we think about human intervention, something like that. That's why we have to be more modest. We have to learn from each other. That's still missing in current reservations, even in the Western peace and conflict states. But there are lots of great theories and knowledge, even methods. It's great, but still it's still Western oriented. So I want to add this dimension, based upon this intellectual philosophy. So I'll just add Buddhist philosophy. I want to try to combine Western-led inspirations and Buddhist philosophy to try to weigh new aspects of integration, peace. So again, I respect all the theories of integrations, but also I also add, based on this intercultural approach. That's what I'm saying. So first of all, I want to talk about Buddhism. So Buddhism always say one of the this is the core. So Buddhism said that reality is a kind of manifestation of human mind. So I say that reality, the state of reality is a kind of manifestation of human conceptual thought constructions. So basically, Buddhism is like a philosophy and religion and ethics, even psychology. Whenever people talk, asking about Buddhism, so it's a religion, yes, but also it's a philosophy, critical philosophy, and also ethics and metaphysics and even psychology. So all are combined to form a Buddhism. So it's why Buddhism tries to shed light on the human internal dynamics and its causal aspects of how human mind creates conflict, violence, and also the failure to resolve the problem itself. For example, Dhammapada is the collection of what Buddha said. It said our experience is within the mind and also the latent mind and greater mind. It means, yes, this exists, reality exists, but also the qualities and other reasons in the world is depend upon and made upon mind, meaning about different epistemological, ontological, ethical frameworks. That's a natural world. It's very natural. But we have to problematize that. Yes, so. So you see, so Buddhism says, yes, we humanity use language, concept to make sense of reality. Buddhism says it's natural. We can't avoid that. But Buddhism tries to reveal some possible dangers of such a stuff. So again, Buddhism really neither denies or they downplays the theories of realism, liberalism, or political theory or construction. This is a great theories. But the thing is, we try to understand, threat in different ways. Meaning, so how those theories are related. Because different theories propose different views of peace or global dynamics. So each is great. But at the same time, Buddhism say, but also we try to go deeper into changing how we understand those theories. That's I want to share. Okay, so here these are the core of Buddhist philosophy. So first of all, interdependence and ultimate emptiness. But again, I'll show you later. But emptiness in Buddhism is very positive, not negative. Okay, so it's very positive. So one of the points is so basically Buddhism. This is the point now. So Buddhism emphasizes the fundamental interdependence of conceptual thought construction, framing different views of reality, different views of peace, different views of politics. So for example, Nagarjuna, one of the prominent the Mahayana Buddhist philosophers, he says, without that concept one, there can be many. Without many, it is not possible to refer to one. So we different opposing views or ideas actually integrate to make sense. But people, sometimes we stick to one possible views, ideas, then we clash each other. Again, even peace building. Again, many people try to help people. But I think they have a different views of what is peace, what is ideal in a community. They have their own frameworks. Then, when it's natural, but when the people absolutize their own frameworks, then they become so dramatic and they exclude the people. That's why even not only people in conflict, but even people who want to help people can clash each other. Then, without exit. That's why Buddhism says, okay, so again, any theories, any views of peace, we respect that. But also, we have to take a critical look at potential danger when the people believe their own vision of peace or vision of politics is absolute. That's what Buddhism wants to break it. So that we can become more compassionate or dialogical. So again, Buddhism, it's not negative, okay? So Buddhism proposes ultimate entities or any conceptual thought or knowledge as infinite. Again, we respect, Buddhism respects all things, but also respect, right? Again, so the thing is, yes, so the point is how we understand, in different theories, in opposing theories beyond heuristic ways. That's Buddhism, that could help us become more compassionate, empathic, more maybe flexible and creative. That's, I want to introduce into the current international relations. So again, Buddhism does not deny or downplay different theories, knowledge of international relations and peace. But again, the thing is, what Buddhism wants to propose is how we can eliminate or even control our strong attachment to certainty or knowledge or theory of different international theories and something like that. So in a way, Buddhism emphasizes the last one, the reflective awareness of the empty or open nature of every conceptual philosophical view that pretends to give a concrete or even universal picture of peace or politics. Again, it's not negative. That's what Buddhism really wants. So especially when I present this kind of stuff in the Western conference, people take so negative. Whereas the emphasis, not only many, especially Western people, are tend to take very negative because it's nothing, it's not. That's what I want to propose, by combining Buddhism and the Western-led observations. You have to be detached from any theories, whilst respecting its validity in certain circumstances. If that's, in my view, helps us be more creative, more empathic, more contextual sensitive. That's what I'm proposing to say. So again, that's the stuff. So the point is not, again, it's not negative at all. If you more, learn a lot about theories, considerations, and peace, but also if you can be more detached from any theory, it can be more like a liberative, more transformative and creative. Maybe in the future you can combine different theories. It sounds very irrational from a certain perspective, but there's from this perspective is very good and very positive. Because different contexts, different theories, different views of peace or different politics. So maybe you can combine different theories. It sounds very silly, but from Buddhist perspective, that's what is missing in current relations. Okay, so again, it's a Buddhist ontology. So it's not reality is not fixed. Public place is not fixed. Why? Because basically, in a Buddhist view, like a whole trust, like a humanity or even public place, the meaning or attributes of the public place, is projection of the different conceptual constructions. So So Buddhism says, so nothing is permanent. It's always changing. And also, so that's why I say again, public place or any public places empty. Again, but it's not negative. It's not the springboard of creativity. Again, it's not easy, in practice. But still, Buddhism emphasizes this empty nature of reality, so which can be more empowering for us to become more creative, more empowering, and compassionate. So that's something. And then I'm not an expert in ethics, but still, I was inspired by many, scholars. So I say, so Buddhism, yeah, we have ethics, but also Buddhism is all kinds of ethical values. But at the same time, Buddhism said, no ethical value can be absolute, universal. So always there's a nuance to say, respect, but also critique. So that's why Buddhism offers no fixed conceptual map, for what should be done, what's the right one. But also the thing is, Buddhism just trying to foster the cultivation of wisdom, like a knowledge, insight of knowledge, how we can avoid the potential danger when we observe your own views, and also more how we can control your mind and matters. So mind is simple, and also just the enhanced commitment to the capacities for thinking and speaking, also acting beyond egocentrism. It's always selfish is a problem. Yeah, well, you can be selfish, but also if you can control your selfish tendency, at least you can be more empathic, more open to different views. You can see that's stuff. So that's why again, Buddhism respects all kinds of ethical systems in the West or in any country, but also again more detached. So that's the democratic sense. That's I want to add to current international relations field. It is missing. So it's kind of there are many different arguments about how we define this view of ethics. So there are some, like I said, it's kind of virtue ethics. Okay? So like a cultivation moral, cognitive disclosure, like a mindfulness, and also the compassion, wisdom, and non-attachment. So for example, say Buddhism said, there are many Buddhists engaged Buddhists who will help anyone. But also Buddhism said, you have to be compassionate, you have to help anyone. You have disciples and people. But also being compassionate can be also dangerous. If you attach too much to a people, it can be also dangerous. So it's very kind of difficult to say, but also compassion, also kind of detached. It's very difficult. Even myself, it's very difficult. But still, it's a process. You have to keep defining this compassion, but also detached minds. So that's the stuff. Okay, so that's also I want to share with you. So that's So now after this Buddhist philosophy, so I want to apply this one to current Western international relations. Okay, so first, today I want to focus on realism and liberalism, two major theories of international relations. So basically, as some of you know, realism is very, very negative when we talk about peace. Many realists say it's a condition of the absence of war, but still the possibility of wars remains. And also say it's kind of absence of open violence between self-interest states, even self-interest people. But still, that's it. So always, and also in real estate, international cooperation might be possible, when the states find that the engagement, this cooperation will be beneficial to their own national interest, and that's it. That's very negative stuff. But also, as you might know, and also they have a hegemonic peace, that is international stability can be dependent on dictators, strong states' visions to impose on the ground. So it's a big risk who can capable, countries, can capable of imposing the views, like a past in England or in the UK or the previous US. So, but still, this endless cycle of the historical repetition of the war, interest, and breakdown of power is there. So there is no hope for sustainable, authentically harmonious relations between states. That's how realists view peace and global tolerance. So, Then, so it's kind of, the list of explosion, the reality explosion, some of this stuff. But then you see it's very negative, very negative. And then the liberalism. So liberalism say they have a liberal peace. That's my field, liberal peace. So liberal peace is based on human rights, based on liberty and freedom. And also neoliberal economy and liberal democracy, and also stable and strong nations of freedom. And also say, even liberals say, yes, we can have international cooperation. They're possible. But you see, in the past shows, but still it's a harmonious cooperative global politics, but still based on only liberal values. So it's very difficult for liberal countries, even liberal peace, to enhance harmonious and cooperative relations based on the value diversity. It's very difficult. Because as you know, they are like Iraq or Afghanistan showed that failure of peace building. And also now, then, so yes, it sounds good, liberal peace sounds good, but still it's very exclusive, intolerant, very diverse. So that's, you see, always they have to talk about liberty and freedom. There should be different views of human rights, different contexts. But not all, many cases, liberal peace does not tolerate that. So sounds good, but still it's very, very dogmatic. Okay? So that's the stuff. So this is all the stuff. But still, also, especially one of my concerns about current liberal democracy is, yes, even Japan we respect, enact liberal democracy because many Japanese people believe, individual liberty, freedom is good. But from a Buddhist perspective, it can be very selfish, egocentric. Because when the people just try to seek their own liberty and freedom, sometimes people don't listen to other people. You see, we have to strike a balance between liberty, but also like a community or like a modesty. I think this is missing. America is a good example for stuff. So again, Buddhism respects liberty, democracy, our freedom, but also we have to take a strike a balance, and this kind of is missing in current liberal model. Okay, so that's okay. So now again, I respect Buddhism respects realism and liberalism, but also I want to show some critical phrases. Again, and Buddhism says all phenomena, including ideas, identities, theories, understand the concept of construction, which are interdependent to each other and lack, a independent status. So again, I want to apply this Buddhist theory to current industrial relation to explore how it can be modified, how it can be, how our kind of stuff we can add to current Western-led international relations field. Okay, so that's the stuff. Okay? So again, so here you can see, so when I say that, so realism or liberalism are again both the conceptual force constructions. There's no fixed position. People believe yes, realism is great, realism is important, but still it's very fragile. So I want to show some examples. So again, so in Buddhist view, realism is not a objective description of the politics now. It's a historically, constructed contingent framework, that by a particular assumptions about power, self-interest, and fixed ontology of state and humanity. So I propose realism is great, but also we have to add it's a constructive realism. It's constructed by human beings. So Buddhism again respects appreciability of the realism in understanding current confrontational global politics and the peace in negative terms, because it's a reality. Ukraine, for example, and also the Gaza is a good example, but still it's a very confined views of politics and peace. But still every day the Japanese media reports about this kind of stuff. They say that's the reality. In a way it is, but also if we keep talking like that, we can't have a new aspects. So in a way, in consciously or unconsciously, even media, even education, confines the paradigm how we think about peace and how we think about global politics. But when we stick to one specific field of considerations, which I want to separate. Although I respect different people, also I want to try to keep it. So empowerment of the people, of the young people. So this is one. So even liberalism is also views constructed in the based on enlightenment ideas and progress into rights and liberty. Again, into liberty, freedom is great, liberal democracy, so fine. Liberalism is dominant stuff. So, but one of the problems of liberal peace is one of the problems. So, universalistic pretensions of liberal peace. Again, projection of the fixed technologies, ontologies, ethical frameworks, upon different contexts, which happen in Afghanistan, Iraq, and also current confrontational policy between US and Iraq. So that's again, but we don't deny that. But also we have to be careful about potential danger when we universalize this liberal values beyond its own beyond its context. So that's our end. Okay, so again, and also both realism and liberalism very separates stuff. Especially the West and the West are big states, So even these are also, it's a contingent. Of course, it exists, but also we have tried that. We have to believe that. But to that end, in the situations, we have to go beyond realism and liberalism stuff. That's also I can show you later. Okay, so that's I will show you. So first of all, I will add this one in current iterations. Again, interdependent nature of theories of different theories of iterations. Realism, it gains meaning in concept liberalism or other theories. Otherwise, it cannot make sense. Okay? And same with other theories. So in current, iteration, which I also teach in university, I teach different theories of iterations. Because they propose different theories of peace and global politics. But at the same time, I didn't say it in my class, but still in my research, I found that these different theories depend upon each other to make sense. So we can, by looking into this more deeper dimension, maybe we can creatively relativize different theories, which could help people, scholars, even young people, become more flexible, more integrated, depending upon different contexts of communities, or states, or regions. And still, this is missing in many current Western-led iterations theory. Okay? So you see, so again, when I say this one, it's not negative. And again, I'm not denying any theory. The point is, how we understand different theories beyond such a heuristic ways is a key. And still, this is missing in current international relations theories education research. So again, this interdependence or ultimate empty nature of different theories, opposing theories, can become more, again, positive. Okay? So, if we can be more detached while respect different theories, we can be more creative and more integrate different contexts. Again, this is missing. Again, this kind of mindset could be served as the basis for the more creative fitness of different theories, personal systems in engaging intellectual enterprise of peace and global politics. Of course, it's not easy because no one has done it. But still, for me, when I try to integrate Western iterations and Buddhism, we can try that. So that's I want to develop more. From my research. So because different theories, different theories can be applied to different contexts. Again, it's because there are many ways to synthesize different theories or from creative. It depends context. But still, this kind of training, this kind of the research training, this kind of research approach is still underdeveloped in current international relations, which I want to introduce to to this. So especially, I think for my paper, I said so it's very difficult, but still, unless the West, Western academia engage self-critique, self-transformation, it's very difficult to achieve peace. Maybe we can, non-Western people can do it, but still, Western academia have to be more courageous, to do self-critical. It's really important. Again, I respect all theories of peace, global politics, and industrial relations. But at the same time, how far what they can engage self-critique is very, very bad. And so it's missing in my knowledge, in current international relations, even peace and conflict studies. So even peace and conflict is very critical of realism. It's great. I learned it from in Bradford, UK. But at the same still, they never ever incorporate non-Western philosophies or cultures into their own curriculum. So even still, they are very critical of the current Western-led situation, but still they are still discussing peace and even negotiation, mediation within the Western boundaries. Still, it's missing. That's why, in my case, Buddhism, but also non-Western philosophies, ethical frameworks should be integrated or at least introduced, to peace and conflicts and situations. I want to add this. Okay? So, that's I want to emphasize in my research. Okay? So, and also I want to also mention about the academia, role of academia in the educational predicament, because this is also missing. There are some course, but still, in many cases, missing. That is this one, especially what's missing in the current Western-oriented integrations, even peace studies, is self-critique and transformative stuff. So Buddhism said, yes, so intellectual enterprise is not just learning and also inquiring research, critical research, so that theories, knowledge, methods of peace and conflict is great, but also academia should be the process of self-critique and transformative researcher and also young people who want to learn about peace situations. It's always, learning theories, but also engage yourself. It's also should be interdependent. And this kind of training, this kind of mindset is still missing in current international relations and even peace and conflict. So I would say, again, it's a way in like Buddhism saying. So academia in Asian predicament is kind of integrated training and also practice and continuous sharpening of the kind of Buddhist way in virtue ethics. So you have to cultivate more current discussion, mindfulness and compassion, empathy, and also the knowledge, wisdom, and also no attachment to any theories as a complete reversal. Again, it's not denying any theory of peace or politics, but also by helping, by empowering ourselves, learners and researchers to be more flexible, creative in daily lives. It could also have a good impact on research itself. Become more empathic, more compassionate, and even creative. It's always integrated training, but also your own personal training is also good. It can be integrated. But still, this concept is missing in the current Western-led integrations and even peace in conflicts. So, even for example, in peace studies, we have views of zero harm. We don't harm the local. But still, again, even virtuous people who want to, in a good way, to intervene in conflict zones, sometimes, again, they project on views as absolute right. And in which case, the clash between those externals and local people. So it means unless even external people who want to help people become more modest, compassionate, empathic, they cannot help people. Or they cannot pave the way for sustainable peace together. That's why even in the peace studies, you have to learn a lot about skills, negotiations, mediations, dialogue. It's a skill, but unless you become mature in personal terms, it's very difficult. It's not easy, but that's why in daily life stuff is very important. While learning and critiquing, inquiring theories of peace. So this is missing. So again, I want to say, so yes, so especially, again, compassionate detachment, it's not easy, but it's choice. Especially in my view, by, combining Buddhism and Western-led relations is here. So, yeah, academia, especially situations and theories, is not a battleground of ideas and theories. Not just the point. It's healthy, but also I think our act more it's a place where they are shared, contemplative, and reflective place to become more creative and synthetic. Again, I don't deny any integrations of Western situations pieces. Again, I don't deny anything. Theorism, liberalism, critical theory, and also the feminism, cosmopolitanism. But we can just reconfigure how we understand those theories beyond a more fixed place. And this is missing in current international relations. Okay, so I can finish. Okay, so I want to finish now. So this is another one. So the thing is, so when I say like even peace theory, is a process. There's no end. So one, Buddhist scholar American Buddhist scholar, he said, so we are in the age of predicament resolution. So even peace is stuck. So they say, he says, it's not a finite game. It's like an infinite game. So which means it's not winning someone's game. No, it's just sustaining, enhancing the quality of ongoing play for all can evolve through self-critique and transformation. So it means even when the peace builders, they have to also change themselves through when they engage in peace building. You can't just say, the people in comfort zone say you have to change. No, you have to also change yourself. And this is it's missing. But if you can choose that, maybe first maybe compromise. But still, compromise can be the foundation for more creativity, improvising. So this kind of stuff should be also trained in observations and peace and studies these days. Okay, so again, so if we can do that, if we can train such a people, even our scholars, we can engage in peace, politics in differing situational context, more creatively, improvising. So that is stuff. So while respecting existing knowledge, theories, but also we can be more creative and more flexible. So that kind of stuff should be, I guess, needs to be more promoted in my opinion. Okay, so again, barring this knowledgeable, ontological, ethical diversity, it also means barring creativity. So in a way, if we can engage, it's not easy, sometimes I'm so scared, but still, peace. Maybe peace will be the rational transformation in the direction of the unprecedented, but also meaningfully embodied capacity for appreciating cultivations. So that's what I want to share today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tanabe, for that presentation. So it's now time for questions, clarifications, and to entertain different voices, which is, I think, one of the key messages in this presentation. Okay, so everybody? Yes.
Good afternoon, Junichiro. If you were to negotiate with, say, either Israel or Hamas or with Vladimir Putin, if you were to replace Trump, how would you convince them or persuade them, to use a much stronger term, so that they go to the negotiating table and commit to peace?
Thank you. It's a very difficult question. But still, the thing is, I think one of the reasons, and one of the points of the case in Ukraine, of course, Ukraine, what Russia is not right. But at the same time, again, the U.S. Western countries to impose its own national visions. That's why, again, I don't support Putin's invasion of Crimea or Ukraine, but still, so first I have to, it's very idealistic, but still, I talk to America or Western countries, let's suspend NATO expansion. First, you have to stop it. And also, but also in reality, and also Ukraine doesn't like it, but still, but also, it's a suspension. Maybe in the future, once Putin is gone, it's possible. Yeah, so the point is, it's always we have a compromise, some compromise, but also again, the compromise is very temporal. So we can just keep the temporal compromise until the moment comes. So in case I say, because my research again, NATO's expansion is one of the problems. Of course, Ukraine has the right to choose, but still, even that situation, I think we first of all, suspension to NATO's expansion negotiation is very important. But then, so I say, okay, look, now I can, after we did it, then we can say, okay, look, now they stop it. You have to stop it. So, but still, it's very difficult. Again, especially Trump, yes, he wants to go his way. So I don't think current situation is very difficult to Trump, and also I don't think now America can do it. So in case I will first talk to, like say, Ukraine and also the EU and NATO, first I do that. So. But and also the case of the Hamas and the stuff. Yes, it's very difficult. Especially, first of all, I want to talk to Hamas and the Palestinian Authority. Because one of the reasons why this mess is the political division between Hamas and Palestinian authorities. Because Palestinian authority didn't respond to the needs of the people. That's why in 2006, Hamas won election in Gaza. Because again, yes, it's like a asymmetric relation between Israel and Palestine. That's the core of the problem. But also another core problem is the political problem within Palestine. Because when the Palestine Authority was assigned as a self-autonomy and also Oslo peace accords, so many international community put many monies into Palestine. It's gone. Why? Because it's corruption. That's why Hamas won election in 2006. Then Palestine also said they don't accept Hamas, but the people chose Hamas. So first, of course, international community must pressurize Israel. Especially, I hope Trump says stop it. It's a temporal stuff, but still. And also, I will talk to the Palestinian Authority and Hamas. Especially the Palestinian Authority. I also talk to UN and actually to pressurize Hamas Palestinian Authority to make a political compromise because they are so fragmented, which also hampers the peace negotiation between Israel and Palestine. So. And also another point of Israel is supported here. But at the same time, there are many political plurals in Israel. So I don't think I can talk to Netanyahu or Farah, but I also talk to the middle ground, moderate Israeli people. Because even my friend with a peace education between Israel and Palestinians, even in the middle of this mess. So there are many good people. So I'm going to just more invite both people to be united so that they can be more pressures, from civil society. So, but still, it's a long way to go. Also. But I think what you said is very, very important.
Yeah, but I think your approach is practical also, and it at least solves in the meantime so that there can be ceasefire and it will be able to save thousands of lives, if not some.
Yeah, because exactly, we discussed a lot of peace, the peace process. So it depends. We have different stages. So first, of course, ceasefire is vital. It's a negative. You may say it's a negative peace. Maybe Johan Galton, he says it's a negative peace, but it's a start. It's not end. Because in case of Palestine, Israel, again, this asymmetrical relations should be addressed somehow, even if it takes time, because it's a second stage. So we have different types of peace must be connected.
Yeah, because the political solution, the two-state solution, is something that's not feasible and not acceptable to Netanyahu.
Exactly.
Either you have a two-piece, two-state solution, or you remove Netanyahu. You cannot have both the presence of the political solution. While people suffer, there should be a ceasefire.
Exactly. No, I agree. We have to, because that's the start of the peace. But it's not the end of the peace. It's a start. Again, even peace, different kinds of peace must be practiced. But as you say, I agree with you. First, ceasefire is inevitable. It must be achieved. But again, so and also it's a very idealistic stuff. But still, and also international community pressurized, saying, look, two-state solution is important. But now because there are many Israel, for example, Japan. Japan through JICA, we spend very money, spend so much money to Palestine, but we still, Japanese government does not accept Palestine as a state. So recently, yesterday, 2 years ago, the embassy, Palestine embassy in Japan, Tokyo asked the Mr. Ishiko, Prime Minister, to accept or recognize Palestine as an independent state. Because Japan, through JICA or academia, spend the billions Japanese yen or Palestine, or billions pounds, billions yen, US dollars. But still, why? Because, for example, in case of Israel has a lot of business functions in Japan. That's why Japanese don't want to internalize that. So it's based upon like a capitalist economy. Because that's why many people worried about, for example, if Japan says, okay, Japanese government recognize Palestine as a state, maybe Israel will do something about business between Japan and Israel, which many Japanese are afraid of. But if Japan said enough is enough, so that's why I said it's a predicament. That's why I know it's not easy to break it, but still, if we ready, okay, maybe temporarily we have suffered an economic problem, but still, we're okay. If we can have such a mindset around the world, we can stop it. But still, people are worried about the possible loss of economy, business. But if we are ready, even temporal loss, say that's fine. Maybe if we can change a little bit, it's very slight, little bit, I think we can stop this war. I mean, because that's then also if Japanese government is so courageous, we should acknowledge Palestine. And if we can do that, if other countries say, look, yeah, maybe you have an economic problem, temporal, but still, enough is enough. If we all countries united in such a mindset, I think we can stop it. But just people worried about this. So it's always very, very tricky. I think that's a very important thing.
Konnichiwa, Sensei.
Thank you.
Kono kikai o itakimasu. Thank you for this opportunity. Domo arigato. The age of predicament, examining inter-philosophy dialogue in our turbulent world. The arguments are very clear and strong. Buddhist ethics converses with the Western world. My question is grounded on a very important problem today. It is the predicament on immigration ethics. There is very strong sides. On one hand, if you may allow me, David Miller argues that borders should be regulated. To simplify his claim, he said that people basically have the abstract right to migrate. And he used the analogy of marriage. That while everyone has the right to marry, the person you want to marry must agree to the marriage. In the same sense, people who wants to move to another state, the state must agree. On the other hand, Joseph Carens argued that if we will not open the border, it's like we have a modern age of a case of feudalism, wherein the rich are keeping their richness to themselves and not allowing the poor to join them. Hence, he argued that we open the border. Obviously, the two arguments are very strong. Now, my question is, Sensei, how will Buddhist ethics handle the four open border argument juxtaposed to a regulated border? In other words, is Buddhism ethics, okay, for a regulated border or it is for an open border? Thank you, Domo.
It's very, very interesting. Yeah. Actually, that's what you mentioned is very, very good question about even Japan. Because, actually, first of all, let me say, in reality, now the 2.5% of Japanese population is from foreign countries. And then maybe, I'm sure if you know, recently some political parties, like a populist nationalist parties won elections in many states. They say, Japanese first. They say we have to regulate immigration, even we have to regulate refugees. But, first of all, so Buddhism said, if you show compassion, you have to open the border. Why? Because, yes, also, but I think in current Japan, they don't know Buddhist association says that. Because in a way, Buddhism philosophy, ethics for me, it's very interesting. And that's why I want to apply this one to, Western-led integration pieces. But in reality, many Japanese Buddhist groups are very nationalistic and very conservative. I don't know why. Maybe based on Japanese cultures. Sure, Japanese wants to be more, everyone should be sane, stuff. But in reality, I think based on Buddhist philosophy itself, yes, we should open the border. Then we show our compassion. Then also in reality, why many Japanese worried about this stuff is because we're gonna have a trouble with the foreign people. But this is also, for me, it's not the point. Why? Because in reality, I came to Tokyo 3 years ago. And before that, I was in Kumamoto, where I met Dexter and Brian. So then we had, the point is not, then I was working in Kumamoto City International Center, where I helped the foreigners when they got trouble with the local people. I found why Japanese people are not over many worried about, because they don't know anything about different cultures. So I think, from Buddhist perspective, first of all, yes, I agree with you. I mean, it's natural for us to open the border to invite people who want to stay in Japan, because they can be very, very active citizens who can contribute to revitalizing Japanese societies. But still, it's like a peace process. It's like we have steps. So first, yes, we as a compassion, we should invite people. But then in the second sense, is practical terms. So how we can help those Japanese people and foreign people having a different cultural, religious background to know each other. So it's like a peace building. So we need education. Japan is it's not still developed. It's not well developing. It's kind of multicultural, intercultural education. It's missing. That's why some NGOs or civil group working so hard to promote that. But this should be systematized in national education. But it's still, it's missing. But again, also when I was in Kumamoto, I used to have several sessions, especially to introduce, for example, the Muslim people to local Japanese people. And when the Muslim imam was talking about basic Islam, so Japanese people felt more familiar, more friendly. So this ignorance is a problem. That's why I think that academia or education should play the role in promoting intercultural education. I think if we can do that, it takes time. Of course, it's a bumpy process, but still, it's possible. And again, first of all, to a question, yes, from Buddhist perspectives, in case Japan, yes, for compassion, empathy, even Buddhist suffering, overcoming suffering, yes. I think we can open border. And also, we don't have to be worried about stuff. The point is how we treat them and how we, help those Japanese people and foreigners to know each other and learn from each other is important, more important than discussing whether we should close the border or not. So yeah, I think there are some even engaged Buddhists in Japan. Again, many Buddhist monks don't talk about this kind of stuff, but some really compassionate Buddhists say they help foreigners or refugees, so that they can, join Japanese society. So I think I think out of Buddhist philosophy, I say there's no problem with open border. We have more concern about how we treat it, how we, what kind of society we have created. So it's kind of vision is missing. That's why Japanese people so worried about this. So thank you. But it's very important for Japan. It's a very important question. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Tanabe-san. I'm Joseph from De La Salle University. I got interested with what you said about Buddhist associations in Japan being nationalistic. So I wonder, what's the situation of Buddhists here in Japan? Because of course, there are various strands of Buddhism. There are different Buddhist associations. Is there a conflict between the various Buddhist strands in Japan, and how do we achieve peace to reconcile these conflicts? I ask this because of course you presented here a conception of peace from the Buddhist perspective. So I'm curious how your framework would help achieve peace within the conflicts in Buddhist communities here in Japan. Thank you.
To be honest, it's hopeless. No, seriously, in the past, if you can look at Japanese history, there are many wars and bloody wars between different Buddhist sects. In early 16th century, we had a bloody war in Kyoto between different Buddhist groups. So the point is yes. So Buddhism itself very compassionate, and also even I was inspired when I'm not sure if you know that Vietnamese monk Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a world renowned. So he says, ultimate end of Buddhism is to live Buddhism. Meaning, so he says, authentic Buddhists accommodates every kind of religion and philosophy by going to Buddhism. So I thought that's what Buddhism must achieve. But in reality, it's not. Especially when I look into Japanese society, even other Buddhist countries who has a problem. It's maybe because Buddhism is like a social identity. Again, you see, as you say, we have different Japanese schools. It's a social identity. It means we have a in-group and out-group. Say us and them. Then they crush each other. But in the end, Buddhism says no identity. So if Buddhist embodies no identity, we can be more compassionate, more creative, and open to anyone. So, but this is missing again, because in my view, in current Buddhist Japanese societies, Buddhist different schools are sticking on social identity, not like a transcendental non-identity. That's why we have a problem. Now, even that during World War II, many Japanese Buddhist associations supported Japanese military government. They say, so Japanese association supported military invasion in China and Korea, saying those peoples they say their souls are very dirty. Then 50 years later, I remember in 1986, some Japanese Buddhist association apologized. They said they are wrong. So like 50 years later. So to be honest with you, I don't think many Buddhists in Japan are not embodying what they're supposed to embody. Even Japanese academia, Buddhist associations, academia, it's great. But they're just talking about interpretation of the Buddhist text. It's great. But also, you have to go outside. You have to go talk to anyone. Not just Buddhists, but also Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or even different philosophies. But it's missing. So that's why I decided to take a peace studies in Buddhism, personally. Yeah, so, but yeah, again, but still, I was inspired when that Vietnamese guy, David Han, said, Buddhism means to go beyond Buddhism. Because that helps you more creative, improvising, and compassionate, open to diversity. I think that's what all Japanese must achieve. But it's not well practiced.
Anybody else?
The last.
Not really. Let me check the time.
Because we have the same interests. Yes, Juche. Between 2014 and 2015 was actually the start of the European refugee crisis, because particularly some of the Muslims who were victims of violent conflict in the Middle East moved from their country to the European Union. Unfortunately, some of the European countries restricted the welcoming of the refugees, although there were others which limited the entrance of the refugees. From your point of view, the Buddhism ethics, of course, will say, open the border. But there's something that I see which, for me, becomes problematic in the process of peace building. And that's actually hospitality. Because the UN people and some other neighboring countries are actually helping the Gazan people, of course, due to the Hamas siege. However, the Israelites in particular, Israel in particular, is actually blocking the way of hospitality, which is actually the will of some people helping them. So there is this sense of compassion, the willingness to help, yet that westernized mind is trying to block that kind of hospitality, which actually is causing too much suffering of the people. So, Buddhism ethics. So how can that translate now into concrete terms, in terms of resolving the conflict in which the problematic is the hospitality itself? That's my question.
So I must say, I don't know how to say, it's very difficult. Yeah, so, first of all, again, even you say, hospitality can be very dangerous, but also very liberating. So it's always, that's why, first of all, that's why I always, I just tell my students to be, self-reflective, always, first of all. Because, that's first step. And also in the case of this one, it's very difficult to resolve. To be honest, it's still I'm struggling to resolve how we can resolve this one.
Too much starvation.
Yes, exactly.
Malnutrition of children is happening now.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the founders of peace in 1950s have been talking about. Basic human needs. So basic human needs are fundamental. And then it should be gratified, but still, as you say in Gaza, for example, but it's not well gratified. So again, that's why in this case, again, international community must be more united. Again, it's a temporal. Again, it's a temporal stuff. again, but also it's very important first temporal stuff. So, but still it's not well practiced. It's why I got trouble. Again, even Japan say, okay, we send many monies, but that's it. So I don't know how we can, but still, as long that's why today I want this predicament. You have to go beyond that. Otherwise, I don't think we can resolve the problem. Yeah, I want to help because I have friends in West Bank and also in Israel. They are working for peace, but still their voice is very suppressed. So that's why I say again. That's why I want. It's very idealistic, but that's why I want today. I want to share this idea of predicament. It means it's that we are stuck. Unless we get more courageous, it's very difficult even to address what you say. So it might take, but still we need ceasefire for sure. That's first thing. But then how we can do it? How we can do is more we have this more. So that's well, we can discuss later anyway.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, some more. Maybe one last. If there's, so I think that's it. We now award a certificate of appreciation. We call Father Dexter, our president, and our secretary, Dr. Godaiva, to help award the certificate. We award the certificate of appreciation to Dr. Wichiro Tanabe for his plenary lecture entitled The Age of Predicament, Examining Inter-Philosophy Dialogue in Our Turbulent World. Okay. Awarded in this conference, September 5 and 6, 2025. Signed, Father Dexter, Dr. Marjorie, and Dr. Christopher Ryan Mabulok. So we now move to